not your everyday xylophone. This is the sound of the akadinda, an instrument that was previously only heard over 4,000 miles away in Uganda. But thanks to a group of staff from the University of Central Lancashire, the rare sounds are now on our shores, helping to bring communities together through music.
And that idea was basically to travel to an area that was in social or economic need, which has got a very strong connection to music, but specifically hand-built musical instruments. And the idea was pretty simple at that point, which was we'd travel out with students from music production and fashion brand management, and we would record these instruments. We would sample these instruments so they could be played in studio environments and included into new songs, compositions. We'd sell them and all the money would go back to the communities.
The group search specifically for rare instruments and record each individual note.
Key 14, right.
These can then be mapped onto keys on a keyboard and played as an instrument here in England. The appeal is an entirely unique and rare sound, and it's one that could be becoming rarer.
And on this trip, we knew there was one instrument that we were going for, which is called an akadinda, which is a huge instrument which gets constructed every time the people want to play it. They have to dig a huge hole in the ground to act as a resonant chamber. They cut banana trees down to line the hole, and then they place keys on the top. They tune them with an axe.
And these things are actually getting phased out. There aren't that many people that know how to build them left. This particular group that we work with, I think it's probably fair to say that probably the main akadinda users of Uganda.
Yeah.
Although there are probably a few around, but that is probably the main.
The project also allows students to have a hands-on experience, travelling with staff and engaging with each area of the campaign.
The richness of the content is incredible. The way it contextualises what they practice in a class and puts it into theory is just different. It's worlds apart. So we can theoretically look at a media plan, but actually rolling it out, speaking to the news agents, speaking to journalists, making sure that the connections are there, making sure that we're getting enough publicity around it is another thing. And knowing what shots to take, what videos to take, how to write the stories, knowing where they're going to feed into at the end is really key as well.
Perhaps the most important part of all of this is the education of the Ugandan as well as the English students, as the group aren't doing it for money, but for the love of music.
We don't take one penny from it. All monies made or generated from the sales of these sample libraries go straight back to the musicians and the communities within Africa that built the instruments and did the recordings for us. The fee that we gave the community that recorded the akadinda for us, because we gave them a fee for the actual recording session as well as the funds later. The chief of that community told us that that fee would be enough money to send all of the community's children to school for 18 months and pay their school dinners. So that was a real
win.
A real win, yeah, for everybody really, and it sort of put a smile on our face, knowing that we'd helped that happen, but they'd helped it happen through music, not through their usual sort of farming careers and agricultural work. It was their art which had managed to sort of bring that to their community, which was fantastic.
Beth XL, that's Lancashire.